Question number 6, Sue Moroney.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Education. What plans does she have to improve the provision of early childhood education?
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. First, early childhood education is provided by organisations licensed by the government to do so. Second, this government has invested $1.3 billion in ECE in budget 2012-13. Third, we have set a better public service target that 98% of all new entrants will have participated in quality early childhood education by 2016. Fourth, we are building an early learning information system so that we can better understand who and where our earliest learners are so that we can better target to their needs. Fifth, I have established an early childhood task force in the Ministry of Education that is right now working with communities to raise participation in early childhood. Sixth, I have made it clear to existing providers by increasing the targeted equity funding to $47.9 million that they must gear up their efforts to engage and retain those who have lower participation rates. Seventh, we have set aside $19.1 million to support Māori medium early childhood provision. Eighth, I have prioritised developing models that work for Pacifica communities.
Point of order, the Honourable David Parker.
Speaker.
Order. A point of order has been called.
My point of order, Mr Speaker, is I think by the time the list gets to 8, if it was a question, the asker of the question would already have been stood down.
I'm not unsympathetic to the member's point that the answer was taking a long time. And as I sought to stop the minister in my mind, I re-looked at the question and asked what plans the minister has. It says, what plans does she have to improve the provision of early childhood education? And it is a fairly open question. The discipline on the minister is everything she's raised is now open to questioning. Point of order, the Honourable David Parker.
For that to be symmetrical, sir, we would have to be able to ask questions that long, putting that many issues to a minister. Now, given that ministers are only required to answer one part of a question, that would be wasting the House's time, just as that answer did.
I'll hear the Honourable Hekia Parata.
Point of order, Mr Speaker. The question is actually framed as a plural. I wasn't asked what plan, I was asked what plans, and I was doing my very best to answer all of those, and I only had one more point.
Order. All right. Order. I just asked the House to be, and ministers also, to be a little reasonable. I mean, the question did ask what plans, and who's the Speaker to stop a minister from outlining the plans? You know, that's the dilemma with that kind of question. But had the minister moved in any, and order, the House will come to order. I mean, the mood today is just unacceptable. It will look so bad on the television, so bad. It will look so bad. Believe me, I watch it all the time, and it will look so bad. Now, I just recommend to the House. I just recommend to the House, please, be a little more reasonable, and I invite them, Sue Moroney, to ask a supplementary question.
Point of order, Mr Speaker. Point of order.
Point of order, Sue Moroney.
Point of order. The question I asked, and it was on notice, specifically asked about plans to improve the provision, and I would point out that most of the list did not, in fact, improve provision.
Order. And the member just lost the supplementary question. Sue Moroney's supplementary question, because that was not a point of order. Sue Moroney, supplementary question.
To the Minister, is she aware that when Ministry of Education official Richard Walley met with the Early Childhood Advisory Committee to report on the work of her funding advisory group, he referred to consideration of the funding model used in the tertiary sector, where funding depends on the student's successful completion of courses and qualifications for use in early childhood education?
The Honourable Hekia Parata. Did the Minister not hear the question clearly? I invite the member to save time, invite the member to repeat a question. Sue Moroney.
She's trying to think of an answer now. Is she aware that when Ministry of Education official Richard Walley met with the Early Childhood Advisory Committee to report on the work of her funding and advisory group, He referred to consideration of the funding model used in the tertiary sector, where funding depends on the student's successful completion of courses and qualifications for use in early childhood education.
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Mr Speaker, no, I wasn't aware of that.
Point of order, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Mr Speaker, can I invite you to reflect on your ruling in respect of Sue Moroney? Another member in this chamber, Mr Banks, trifled with you. I'm not sure if he's allocated a supplementary each day. I tried to get that information. And you did not embark on any sanctioning on him at all, yet you embarked on sanctioning my colleague and docking a supplementary. Where's the consistency?
Order. Sue Moroney, if she has a further supplementary question. Point of order, Chris Hipkins.
Raise an issue with you with regard to a point of order that was raised earlier by David Parker in regard to when ministers give very, very long answers. Now, we are limited in the number of supplementary questions that we can ask, and the Minister, I appreciate that you have ruled that Sue Moroney's point of order was unnecessary, but she only has a very limited number of supplementary questions with which she could respond to all of the content that the Minister raised. So I'd just ask you to reconsider the reasonableness of that.
Order, and I invite the member to reflect on the fact when the Minister did not hear the member's question clearly, I invited the member to repeat her question so it could be heard clearly. The member chose, after I'd already deducted a supplementary question, to make an unhelpful comment when repeating a question. I did nothing about that because I had already taken action against the member. All members seem to think that I'm being unfair on their side. The only conclusion I can arrive at is that I'm probably about... But let me be blunt. If the Labour Party feels I've been tough on them today, some of the interjections I've had to tolerate today coming across from the second bench of the Labour Party have been totally unacceptable. If I hear any more of them today, members will be leaving because they've been totally outside standing orders. I've chosen to ignore them because I don't want to be seen to be picking on one side of the House. But what's good for the goose has got to be good for the gander, and I'm not going to tolerate any more nonsense on this Sue Moroney supplementary question. Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Speaker, I think you are reflecting on me, and I just ask you, sir, what options there are for Labour members when government ministers make up Labour policy.
No, order. This is not a point of order. And even though it's not a point of order at this stage in the proceedings, I do hear what the member's saying, and I will try and make sure that I deal with that. And there was at one instance today I do accept where I did not deal with it and I should have. So, a point of order, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Well, I'm sorry to frustrate you, sir, but we are entitled in this place to take points of order. Could I invite you to reflect on your previous ruling? You said that there had been 2 transgressions by my colleague, but your ruling in respect of a supplementary deduction happened before the second transgression. So my question to you simply is this. In the case of Mr Banks, you did nothing. In the case of Sue Moroney, I'd argue Mr Banks tried.
Order. Now look, I've dealt with this matter and I will not tolerate any more such nonsense. The Speaker has absolute control over supplementary questions and we will get on with question time. Sue Moroney, supplementary question.
Supplementary question number 2, Mr Speaker, to the Minister. Why, when asked if national standards were being considered for early childhood education, did her ministry official reply, not yet?
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Mr Speaker, first of all, I don't know whether my ministry official did reply to that in that way. I don't know that to be the case. I wasn't present. I don't know which official. I did not hear it. I cannot answer for that official.
Sue Moroney, supplementary question. Order. I want to hear the Order. Now, government members are not helping. I want to hear the supplementary question. Sue Moroney.
Is her assurance that exams for 3- and 4-year-old children are not on her agenda just as reassuring as previous Minister Anne Tolley's assurances before the election that league tables were not on her agenda?
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Mr Speaker, what's on my agenda in early childhood education is that 98% of all new entrants will have participated in quality early childhood education by 2016, and they will be able to go to school having completed the Te Whāriki curriculum where they are competent, confident, socially engaged and ready to learn. And this is in a context where this government has increased investment in early childhood by 34% since 2008. where it's become 32% more affordable than 2007, and where enrolments have increased between 2 and 4% a year, nearly 10% in total since 2008.
Point of order, Sue Moroney. Order. A point of order has been raised. Sue Moroney.
Point of order, Mr Speaker. I seek leave to table the newsletter of the New Zealand Childcare Association, Te Taripuna Ora, dated the 5th of September, to their membership, informing their membership of those comments from the Ministry officials.
Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is no objection. Question number 7, David Bennett. Supplementary question. I've already called question number 7. The member should have got to her feet sooner. David Bennett, question number 7.
Mr Speaker.